message as well. And great work here by the Harry S. Truman, Carrier Air Wing 1, and of course there'll be some land-based U.S. Air Force fighters participating too. It's great to see our joint forces in action. Jenna Carrillo is doing the right thing.
Why did we tolerate this? I mean, as I mentioned with Lucas, the U.S. Navy was in the most sustained combat campaign since World War II under the previous administration. Why did we put up with it?
That's right. They played zone defense and did a tremendous job knocking down drones, missiles, taking out unmanned surface vessels. And John, we used a rotation at the end, 5 different aircraft carriers, starting with the Gerald Ford right after the October 7th attacks, and coming up now to the Harry S. Truman. We've had an aircraft carrier in that region consistently since then. What I like is seeing us use the striking power. You know, President Trump has been really smart to use the striking power of the U.S. aircraft carrier to really get after these Houthi rebels. Remember, that's an illegitimate regime. The UN doesn't recognize them. They've been there a long time, but they're now creating a level of chaos, and we can't afford to have shipping closed off and our forces pinned down. So it was time to take offensive action, and I'm really glad President Trump has done it.
The regime may be illegitimate, but there are about 35 million people or so in Yemen, and virtually all of them are under the control of the Houthis. So is this possibly the first stage of knocking that regime out of power?
Interesting question. I don't know if regime change is the goal here. I think we really want to see them take out military capability. That will be the primary job. I would not be surprised to see these strikes go on for a little bit. And then, again, this has really got to send that message to Iran to stop supplying. We want to take out the weapon storage areas, the radar sites. And Iran has a ship there that they use to help the Houthis target maritime traffic. We need to end all of that. And so I hope the Ayatollah is really going to reconsider his military support down there, and that we use our U.S. military forces in a way that makes a very strong statement that we're done. We're done with these attacks against international shipping. This cannot go on, no matter how much Yemeni Houthi military capability we have to blow up.
Yeah, the Houthis are already saying that 9 civilians have been killed in these attacks, 9 injured. That, according to the health ministry that the Houthis run. In a situation like this, you probably cannot avoid civilian casualties, but given the level of bombardment that is apparently underway, I'm surprised if that number is real, and we don't absolutely have a way to verify that, but I'm surprised there aren't more.
Avoiding civilian casualties is a big requirement. This is part of the reason for striking at night. And remember, every target selected goes through a collateral damage evaluation, particularly if it's a building that's close in among some civilian facilities. But the vast majority of these things are straight up legitimate military targets, active radar sites, active missile launch sites, etc. And I know that our planners in Central Command are being extremely careful to target military targets. That's what they want to hit. They don't want to waste ordnance either. We don't want to see collateral damage. They want to get after their target objectives and get that task done.
President Trump liked to point to the fact that during his first term there were no wars launched, but is this tantamount to launching a war against the Houthis?
Reminds me more of President Trump's first term campaign against ISIS, when in a pretty short amount of time he wiped out the rest of that caliphate. I think it would be great for the Houthis to meet the same fate of being militarily taken apart as a viable military operation. They're doing absolutely no good. They are terrorists, they are pirates, they are affecting world shipping, and they've launched strikes against Israel. And what a mistake they made to pop back up, trying to influence events in Gaza yet again. Now they're going to feel the full weight of U.S. military power with the aircraft carriers, our fighters. B-2 bomber wouldn't surprise me as well. And that's due to President Trump. You know, the new sheriff in town, we are doing a new policy, and this is it for the Houthis.
I kind of wonder if they're the equivalent of the last man standing. I mean, Iran has its proxy armies, Hezbollah and Hamas. Those have been decimated by the Israelis. Now they've got the Houthis are sort of the last big force left, aren't they? And you know, is Iran about to see a triumvirate of defeats, I guess, among its proxy forces?
An excellent point. And as much as Hamas and Hezbollah have been decimated. I'd like to see the Houthi armament capability go down. Yes, I think we are looking at getting after one of the last big operational legs of Iran's terror mechanism. They really support so many terrorists around the world, always, of course, backed up by China, who buys 90% of Iran's oil and keeps Iran financially in the game.
Dr. Rebecca Grant, thank you for your expertise. We'll talk to you again. Click